Hi everybody, this is Phoenix Talon, and today I'm going to show you a little tool that I've been using to sort of get my turrets facing the right way and set their limits properly when putting them on my spaceships. So let me go ahead and get started. I've got an empty scene in Unity, and I'm going to go ahead and pull in the package. Go ahead and import it into Unity, and it's going to go ahead and pop up in the assets folder. So you have the Angle Gizmo Tool. It has the folder for the scripts, textures, and the default prefab. So in case you change too many settings in this, or you lose it, or delete it, or something happens to it, you can go ahead and go into the prefab, the default prefab folder, and there it is right there. So you never have to worry about trying to re-import it or something. And as far as the textures go, I'll show you what those do later. And it's only 3 scripts. So it's pretty easy to use. So we'll go ahead and get it into your scene. Since it is a prefab, you just go ahead and drag it over, drop it into your hierarchy, or you can drop it directly into your scene. And I've got it set so that it defaults to 0, 0, 0. Of course, you can change that and apply it, and then that'll go ahead and change your prefab as well and your settings there. Alright, you've got some labels, and I'll show you these right now. That are part of the actual 3D gizmos. So what you can do is you can shrink those down, you can make them bigger, whatever you want to do with those. And you can change those by going here in the inspector, clicking on other, and then finding the colors that you like best. If you don't want anything, you can always click on none, and it'll go ahead and delete that for you. If you want to get something else that's a little less uh, gaudy, you go ahead and click one of the standard Unity ones. Otherwise, you can go ahead and click on any one of these 3. The gizmo itself has a lot of settings to it. You can go ahead and select which angles you want to look at. And of course, I've done all these in the scripting as classes so that all the parts here are collapsible to make it a lot easier to use. But we'll go ahead and expand it just for the purposes of this video so that you can see everything that's going on. Alright, so in the basic setup, you can change the color, you can make it whatever you want. Doesn't have to be any of the defaults. Alright, there's a 0 null line right here that always shows the direction that the main tool is facing. And if you want, you can turn that off, you can turn it on, you can change the color, you can change the size in case you want something there. You can change the sizes of all the spheres, and they'll go with however you want. The same works for, even though we're on the main gizmo tool, you can change the settings for the points from here as well. You know, they're completely, they're very versatile. You can make them disappear completely. And as far as picking the angles, if you'll notice here in the console, it's already printing angles. Also take note that we're not in play mode. This is happening all in the editor. This is all happening in the inspector, in the console. It's all happening while you're editing your game or your level or whatever it is that you're building. Alright, you don't have to hit play mode. As a matter of fact, this won't even show up on the camera. It doesn't show up in the game scene. It is just here for editing purposes. You can completely turn it off to where it's not doing any angles at all by clicking all of these, and then you hit clear in the console, and then nothing will show up at all. And then you can also turn off all the renders for these so that it's just like any other empty game object. You can turn down the gizmos, or you can go ahead, as I showed you before, and click none, and then it's just actually just sitting there, and it doesn't interfere with your level building at all. And then when you need it again, you can go ahead and click the angles that you want to take a look at, and you don't even have to turn on the renders. It goes ahead and gives you those points. Okay, but for the video, we'll go ahead and turn those back on so that we can see everything that's going on. All right, so let's say we want to go ahead and find the angles to our two game objects out here, the cube and the sphere. All right, so we want to go up to the cube, and the easiest way to do this, of course, is to find out where the cube is, and then go ahead and click on the point that you want to go to, and go ahead and enter in those values. And once we've done that, you already see the console is going crazy showing us angles. It's because it's every time we interact with it, it is actively producing those angles for us so that we can go ahead and sorry about that, commercial break. Anyway, so you go ahead and you set your point. Go ahead and you can click on your sphere, get the information off of that, and then go ahead and enter that in. All right. Look like I'm a little off. Maybe I didn't say what that was the right way. Oh, it's 95. Of course. Learn to read. Okay. So, if you'll notice, the sphere pretty much hugs that really well, so you know you're dead on that. And with the cube, it looks like you're in the center, but of course the easiest way to find out is to go ahead and resize it, and oh, wrong one, and resize it to where whatever's comfortable for you. When I have it here, then I know that I'm just barely inside of it, or just barely showing, and then I know that I'm pretty much right on the center of it. There's other ways to do it, of course, is if you move in there and adjust your scene views. Also, you can move this. Keep in mind, though, that these are children of this parent, so if you move the main tool, the children will move as well. So don't pick your points and then move your parent, because that's going to waste your time. Okay, so we've got that, and right now I went ahead and cleared the console so that it would refresh that, so it's a little easier to read, and you get used to doing that. Or if you want to just read it as it populates, then that's fine. And it go ahead and shows you from the main tool over to point one. It shows you the angles. And the great thing about this tool is it shows the unity angles. So the way unity rotates, for example, X starts down. So you'll start at 0, 90 is down, and then 180, and then 270. The Y rotation rotates starting off to the right, and then the Z rotation starting to the left. So this tool keeps that consistent, so that your rotations are unity rotations, so that anything you're doing in your game, you'll be able to set that to that environment. The other thing about this is that Unity tends to give you negative angles when going the opposite direction. This goes ahead and gives you the full 360, so you don't have to worry about that, especially if you're trying to set limits where you're trying to figure out, oh gosh, does this go 180 or does this go 360? Well, now you don't have to worry about it. If you want the negative value, you can go ahead. I don't know what that was. Oh well, we'll look at it later. You can go ahead and set that the way you want. Okay, so that actually pretty much does it for the demonstration of this tool. It's, like I said, it's very, very easy to use. All the control is right here. If you don't want to look at the 0.2 angles, for example, you can do it like this, and anytime you interact with something, it automatically populates that for you, or whatever you click on. So now we're not even looking at 0.2, we're just looking at the angle. Oh, I almost forgot to mention the angle between points. It will always give you the smallest angle, so anything less than 180 it doesn't wrap around or anything like that, and that's the angle between point 1 and point 2, no matter where it is on the screen. But yeah, like I was saying, you can turn these off and you turn them on. If you turn everything off, clear the console. Obviously, you won't get anything. You can set the specific ones that you want to look at. So if I want to look at X, for example, then it's just showing me the X value from the tool over to point 1. Okay, so like I said, it's pretty easy. You've got full control over everything that you want to do with this, and it's a really, really useful tool. And I've been using it for quite a while. Thought I'd go ahead and put it out there for people to see what it is, and if they like it, then they can go ahead and get it. Okay, thank you for watching, and enjoy.